Hey there, and welcome back. Have you ever wondered how to grow your podcast audience and actually make money from it? I'm Chapman, and I just got back a few weeks ago from Podfest 2025 in Orlando, where I had the chance to learn from some of the best in the podcasting world. Today, I'm sharing the top strategies I learned about audience growth monetization. And trust me, these tips can change the game for your podcast. So stick around because you're going to leave with actionable ideas to grow your audience and make your podcast profitable. And if you like these podcasting tips, be sure to subscribe so you never miss a video. All right. One of the biggest takeaways from Podfest was this: word of mouth is still the number one way that listeners find new podcasts. So if your show isn't growing, it's because your listeners are not sharing it. You've got to know your audience inside and out. If you're not growing the way you want to, it's also probably because your content isn't reaching or resonating with the right people. So you want to get specific, narrow down your audience, and figure out their biggest problem, then create episodes that help them solve it. So, for example, let's say your podcast is about small business tips. Instead of trying to appeal to every business owner, focus on a niche like small business owners in the wellness industry. Once you've defined your audience, you're going to start seeing better engagement because your content will feel tailor made for them. Another tip is to position your podcast as a guide on your audience's journey. So think about their pain points and what questions they have, then create episodes that directly answer those questions. So not only does this build trust, but it also increases the chances of your episodes being shared. And lastly, when you're recording an episode, add some stories. Your audience wants to learn from you, but it's also those stories that make you memorable and really allows you to connect with your audience. Now, let's talk about promoting your podcast because honestly, great content isn't enough if no one knows about it. So, first, get creative with media coverage. So, some out of the box ideas I talked about at Podfest was to reach out to local radio stations, TV networks, or even online publications to feature your podcast. So, this can help you reach an entirely new audience. And then, once you land a feature, make sure to share it on your podcast website, your social media platforms to maximize exposure. And then, secondly, you can cross promote with other podcasters. So, collaboration is key in the podcasting world. You can guest on their show or they can guest on yours. This not only introduces you to their audience, but also builds credibility for your brand. And then third, leverage SEO to get discovered. This was a big focus at Podfest and one of the most packed rooms at Podfest as well. And it's also something that I focus heavily on with my clients. Optimize your podcast titles, descriptions, and your episode transcripts with keywords that your ideal listener is searching for. So, for example, if your podcast is about fitness for new moms, make sure you're using terms like postpartum fitness tips or workouts for moms in your metadata. This way, your podcast shows up in search results on platforms like Apple and Spotify. And here's a pro tip: use tools like Google Keyword Planner, and Ask the Public, Uber Suggest to find high volume, low competition keywords. And then this will give you the best chance of standing out. Also, consider using ads to get in front of new listeners. So you can run ads in the podcast player apps, or you can run Facebook and Instagram ads to your podcast. All right, let's get into monetization. One of the biggest myths in podcasting is that you need millions of downloads to start making money, and that's not really true at all. So, first, sponsorships are a great starting point. The key is to focus on sponsors that align with your audience. So, for example, if your podcast is about personal development, approach brands in the wellness or productivity space. When pitching to sponsors, highlight your engagement metrics like listener retention and your consumption rates because those numbers matter more than just raw download numbers. Second, you should always be selling your own products or services on your podcast. So, this could be something like an ebook, a course, or coaching sessions. Your podcast is the perfect platform to establish yourself as an authority figure, and your listeners are already primed to trust you. So if you've got something valuable to offer, don't be afraid to promote it. And then third, affiliate marketing is another effective strategy. So partner with brands whose products you genuinely love and believe in. And then you can earn a commission for every sale made through your referral links. Just make sure to disclose affiliate partnerships to keep everything transparent with your audience. And then finally, you can offer exclusive content or early access to episodes through a membership platform like Patreon or Hello Audio. And then finally, I love the session where we dug into analytics. So, first, let me share some surprising numbers. There are 4.3 million podcasts. There are only 2.9 million podcasts that have released more than 3 episodes. And there are only 412,000 podcasts that have released episodes in the last 90 days. The podcasting space is not saturated, and there's so much potential here. So, those statistics I just shared came from Tom Rossi, the co founder of Buzzsprout. So instead of obsessing over download numbers, focus on consumption rates and your retention. Those tell you how engaged your listeners are. If people are dropping off halfway through an episode, that's a sign you need to tweak your content. So there you have it. Those were my top takeaways from Podfest on growing and monetizing a podcast. I hope these tips gave you some inspiration and actionable ideas to try out. But all in all, this was my first Podfest event and I loved every second of it. And I've already bought my ticket for Podfest 2026. If you found this video helpful, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss my podcasting tips. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.